Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. And hello again, people. Hello and welcome to today. And speaking of today, who knows what day it is today? I know, you all do. I was just kidding. I was only pulling your leg. So, as you all know, as you're all aware of the fact that today is Wednesday, you're also all aware of the fact that this is the middle of the week. Yes, you know that, and I know that. And I know that you know, and you all know that I know that you know. And let's not forget, you all know too. So, here we all are, midway between the weekend and, well, the next weekend. And are you all ready? Are you all wondering about what we're going to hear about today? Are you all curious to find out, to discover, to learn, to see and hear what happened to Tim? All right, then. So, for anyone who missed it, let's bring you all up to speed on the Benchfield situation. Alfredo left Doreen and John with the shopping trolley. They were in the fruit and veg section, but after they selected all the fruit and veg that the family needed, they set out. They started out on their own to complete the rest of the shopping. They didn't know where Tim and Lizzie were. They also didn't know where their dad, Alfredo, was. Alfredo was looking for Tim and Lizzie. Tim and Lizzie were looking for their dad, Alfredo, and their siblings, Doreen and John. So the Benchfield group had split into 3 groups. One group were doing all the hard work. Doreen and John were selecting, choosing, picking things that they thought the family needed. And after they had decided what the family needed, they put it into the shopping trolley. Another group, Tim and Lizzie, were just wandering about looking for the other members of their family. But, as usual, Tim was dragging his heels. Do you know that phrase? The phrase to drag your heels. Can you figure it out? What do we know about Tim? What do we know about Tim's character? Well, think about it. The one word which we always hear when someone is talking about Tim, the one word which we always see in connection with Tim. What is it? What's that one word? It's an adjective, isn't it? Yes? Well, okay. Is it tall? Is that the word we always think of when we think of Tim? No. Well, what about fat? That's another adjective. Is that the adjective we always think of when we think about Tim? Nope, it's not fat either. Well, what about intelligent? Is that the adjective that we always think of when we consider Tim? No, it's not intelligent either, is it? The word we always think of when we think about Tim is this word. Yes, that's the word. Lazy. That's the adjective we always think of when we think of Tim, isn't it? Whenever we consider Tim, whenever we reflect on his character, whenever we meditate on what he's like, whenever we contemplate his personality, then we always come back to the idea of laziness, don't we? Tim's lazy, he's idle, he's a layabout, he's a skiver, he's a couch potato. Okay, and all of these words, these adjectives and nouns, they all bring us back to that phrase, to drag your heels. Now, to drag your heels isn't a synonym for the adjective lazy, but there is a connection. If you don't want to do something, then we say that you're dragging your heels. This phrase means that you're deliberately doing something as slowly as possible because you don't want to do it. Imagine a situation where your boss wants you to, I don't know, I know. Your boss wants you to prepare a report, but everyone knows that when the report is finished, Your boss is going to give you the sack. Your boss is going to fire you. Your boss is going to give you your notice. Your boss is going to make you redundant. Okay, so that means that there's no good incentive for you to finish the report. You know that as soon as the boss has the report on their desk, they're going to call you into the office and say, listen, it's been lovely working with you and I really like you, but, well, I'm afraid I have to give you the push. Sorry, bye. Now, in this situation, there is obviously very little incentive for you to finish the report quickly, is there? You know that as soon as it's there on the boss's desk, you're going to be out the door. And what if you only have to work for another 22 days in order to qualify for your annual bonus? What if we add that ingredient to the recipe, eh? What about now? Exactly. Think about what you're going to do. You can't tell the boss that you're not going to do the report. That's no good. The boss will probably sack you there on the spot. No. So you have to be a bit crafty, a bit wily, like a fox. You have to delay the report. Not stop it, but delay it. Slow it down. You have to make sure that you don't finish the report before you complete the 22 days. After that, you're home free. You'll qualify for your annual bonus, so you'll be happy. You can start looking for a new job with your annual bonus in your pocket. Okay, now this is when we say that you're dragging your heels. You don't want to finish what you're doing, so you're delaying it, you're postponing it. You're not stopping, you're just slowing things down. You're using delaying tactics. And that's what Tim was doing. He doesn't want to help with the shopping because he's lazy, so he was taking his time. He was walking slowly. He was going off to look at magazines. He was doing everything possible to make sure that he didn't have to help the family do the shopping. Now, what about Alfredo? Well, Alfredo was the third group, even though he can't be a group because it's just him. Oh well, never mind all that now. Let's just get on with it. Well, Alfredo got tired of waiting for Lizzie and Tim to find the rest of the family. So he decided to head off to try and find them. He set out to try and find them. But when he wandered into the cheese aisle of the supermarket, he decided that this would be a good opportunity to get some cheese. Alfredo likes cheese. He selected or picked or chose lots of cheese, but, and this was the problem, he didn't have a basket or a trolley with him. Doreen and John had the trolley. So Alfredo piled the cheese up in his arms. Then he couldn't find the pecorino. He asked a shop assistant, but the shop assistant was from another section of the supermarket and couldn't help. Alfredo was upset because the shop assistant didn't know where the pecorino was. Then, because he couldn't see where he was going, he tripped and fell into the cheeses. What a mess! And because he fell into the soft, smelly French cheese, what a smell! Okay, moving along quickly. Smelly Alfredo. Now, stinking, reeking, ponging of cheese was standing in the cheese aisle, covered in cheese, when the kids turned up. After that, Alfredo decided that he'd had enough. So he told the kids that they were going home. He told the kids to leave the shopping trolley full of shopping in the middle of the aisle and to go to the car. Doreen pointed out that this was a waste of time. Doreen and John had been shopping while the others were looking for each other. Alfredo recognized that Doreen had a good point. So he agreed that they should go to the checkouts, queue up, load their shopping onto the conveyor belt, pack the shopping into bags, pay for everything and go home. That way, they wouldn't have wasted their time. And that's where we last saw them, isn't it? But there's another problem, isn't there? Yes, there's always another problem with the Benchfields. This time, When they were at the checkouts, loading their food onto the conveyor belt, Alfredo started to wonder about where the car was. He wanted to ask Tim where the car was parked, but suddenly everyone noticed that Tim wasn't there. He'd disappeared. Tim had vanished into thin air. And now it's time to see where he's got to. Where on earth is he? He was just here. I don't know. I didn't see him leave, nor did I. Lizzie, what do you mean? Well, maybe it's nothing, but I think that something fishy's going on. Something fishy? Like what? What sort of fishy thing? I don't know. I've just got a feeling that something's going on. Really, Lizzie, there isn't time for mucking about. I've had a very long, very stressful day. We've been in this blinking supermarket for hours now. We've had problem after problem, disaster after disaster, and now all I want to do is finish in the supermarket, get into the car and go home. I want a shower, and then I want something to eat and a drink. So, as I said, this isn't time for mucking about. I know you like watching spy films on TV, but this is real life. This is your brother, Tim. There's nothing cloak and dagger about this situation. It's just Tim being Tim, leaving the family and wandering off when we're almost finished. That's just typical of him. Maybe, but I still think that something's wrong. I smell a rat. Good God, Lizzie, please, please, I've had a hard day, and I don't want to hear about your theories. Honestly, you're always convinced that there's something funny going on, but you're not right. You're wrong. All that's happening is that your brother is being his usual, irritating, lazy self. He doesn't want to help us with the shopping. He doesn't want to help us put the shopping onto the conveyor belt. He doesn't want to help us pack the shopping into bags. He doesn't want to help us carry the shopping to the car. And I'm sure, 100% certain, that when we get home, Tim won't want to help with carrying the shopping from the car to the house. And he won't want to help with unpacking the shopping either. You might be right, Dad, but I still think that there's something fishy going on. Oh God, I give up. Honestly, here we are, trying to find Tim so that we can end this nightmare and get home. And instead of helping, you're acting like someone in a James Bond film. Lizzie, he's just a very lazy boy. There's nothing cloak and dagger about the situation. It's all very simple. There's nothing fishy about the situation. Tim's just avoiding work, as usual, that's all. Okay, well, we'll see, won't we? My brain's exploding! My brain's exploding! Ah! My brain's exploding! Help! My brain's exploding! Tim? Tim? Can you hear me? What are you doing? I think he's lost his mind, Dad. Yes, I think you're right, John. It looks like Tim's gone off his rocker. He's gone completely bananas. Yes, he's gone completely off his onion. It's very sad, isn't it? A young man, normal one day, completely bonkers the next. Would you two please shut up? I'm trying to find out what's wrong with Tim. Tim! Tim! Can you hear me, Tim? What's wrong with you? Why are you breakdancing amongst the tins? What on earth are you doing? And what exactly do you mean when you say, my brain's exploding? Oh, crikey! Things are getting stranger and stranger, aren't they? Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we've got for today. So we're not going to find anything out today. We'll have to wait until tomorrow. Yes, it's time for me to go. But don't worry, I'll be back on your screens in no time. All right, people, have fun, have fun, and have a great time. I'll see you all tomorrow. But remember, if you feel the need for some more English, pop over to the website with all the Ks. Well, it's got 3 Ks and a whole bunch of other letters too. You all remember the address, don't you? www.mediaclick.hu. All right, I'm off home. I need a coffee. See you later. Bye.